What's that? What's that sound, AC? Can you hear that? You know what that is?
What is it?
That's 4 victories in a row for Louisville, and I don't think we're hearing any Cat fans say anything. I mean, I maybe a faint cry of "Go UK," maybe. I don't know.
No, I didn't hear anything.
CARDS.
Okay, I
is
heard
all
that.
you hear.
I heard that.
Go Cards.
All
Huge
right,
win.
we're going bowling.
That's right, baby. Not unexpected, but we did expect one thing.
The Bush League stuff that came to Cardinal Stadium.
What in the hell was that all about? I have no idea what those pregame antics were. You know, stomping around, jumping around, trying to start a fight. You know what? Whatever you got to do, you got to do.
Yeah, it got their confidence up a little bit, and you know, but Cardinals took care of business.
They did, and it was a good game. I mean, you know, it was a better game than what we predicted, and they had a lot to play for. They were trying to make a bowl game for the first time in I don't know how many years. I know I talked about it a little bit, but they become only the second team besides Kansas to start the season 5-1 and not make a bowl game. So they had 6 games to do it, and they went 0-6 in their last 6 games. But you're definitely not going to come into Cardinal Stadium and think you're going to get bowl eligible because it ain't going to happen.
And the thing is, our backup quarterback gave them 2 gifts. You know, fumble or interception for pick 6, and we gave them 2 gifts. So, you know, in all actuality, it wasn't that close.
Yeah. But that's all part of the game. And, you know, and here's what happened. In the second quarter, Reggie Bonifant goes out. So he's our backup quarterback. Will Gardner was out earlier. So we got second-string quarterback Reggie, who's played pretty well. Reggie goes out with, we couldn't tell if it was an ankle or a knee injury. And then we had to bring in our third-string quarterback, which is Kyle Bolin, who happens to be from
Lexington.
So give big props to Kyle. He only comes in and throws for 381 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's all.
I mean, I don't know what else you can ask that guy to do because, I was a little bit nervous because we're down to our third-string quarterback, but you know what? Nah. Well, no need to be worried.
In all fairness, too, Kyle, I got a chance to see him at Lexington Catholic when they came up. They played Male a couple times, and they ran a spread, and the kid could just flat out throw. Mm-hmm. So props to Bobby for putting that guy in a position to run that spread and throw the ball. I mean, he looked great.
Yeah, I give Bobby a lot of credit because he was ready to play. I mean, you know, I had no idea that he was going to have to play, but I guess, you know, he's the big paid coach, and he knows that people need to be ready to step in at any time, and he was, and he did, and he delivered a great performance. Like I said, he had that one interception. It was a pick 6, but I mean, you got to expect that's going to happen for a third string guy, but he got the job done.
And I've been telling people for years. A lot of times in Bobby's systems, it's not the players, it's his system. Mm-hmm. And Bobby puts his system in, and you put, you know, anywhere from average to great players in it, and it'll go.
They'll succeed. They'll succeed.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have much of a running game, so it was kind of obvious they wanted to stop the running game, and we have had a lot of success running the game the last several weeks. So that didn't surprise me, and it worked out better than I thought or they thought because they knocked out Reggie too, you know, and so that made it even a better game plan for them as it turns out. However, you know, Kyle comes in and just throws over the top, and the receivers did a tremendous job. Yeah. All of them. I mean, there's a lot of catches going around.
Oh yeah.
Saturday, so it turned out to be a great day for us. And, you know, I think we ended up with 389 yards passing. And
receivers caught 22 balls.
Okay.
Devontae, 3 touchdowns. I mean, the kid showed out for his last home game before he enters the NFL. And then I think we've got a bunch of kids graduating. So we're Louisville sports is on the upswing, period.
Yeah.
So, I was talking with my wife, Dee Dee, the other day about how when guys come to the University of Louisville, that they tend to fall in love with the community, the people. We've hit a good run with some great athletes over the last, I want to say 20 years around here. So, you know, but we've got some guys. Devontae was really a special talent along the lines of Teddy Bridgewater. So we're
and he's a local kid out of Ballard. So.
Yes.
You know, and we got a lot of those guys are graduating, so they'll be walking here in December. So congrats to those guys. We're not sure where we're going for a bowl game. But bottom line is, That's four in a row. So this class of graduating seniors go out undefeated against Kentucky. That's always a good feeling. It's always a good feeling to beat them in football. So, ho hum.
I find it kind of hard to believe. I know Kentucky's they've got some good coaches, and I just this senior class is going out this year at Kentucky. They've never been to a bowl game. And I don't like to pile on, but that is.
That's hard. I mean, that's why that's one of the
do.
reasons you go to schools to try to play in some sort of postseason. But
those kids are signing like Matt Elam, and those kids are going to that school, and it's hard to explain to those kids, 4 or 5 years in a row that you've not been to a bowl game. So and maybe they change the culture up there, maybe they don't, but you got to get it going.
Yep. So injuries of note. We talked about it. Reggie Bonifant, I don't know. We don't know if it's a knee or an ankle, so I have no idea. It looked like his ankle, but I have no idea.
The way they were carrying him off the field, it just didn't look good at all. So, hopefully we'll wait and see what's going on with him.
Yep. And then I wasn't really aware of any other injuries that might have come about in that game. I do want to roll on. We'll go on to the Dice Player of the Week. My offensive Dice Player of the Week was pretty obvious to me, Kyle Bolin. Again, Kyle steps in. I don't even know if he knew where his helmet was when he got his name called there. So he had to run and get his helmet, come in, and all he does is complete his first pass and then go on to complete 21 other passes. Oh, yeah. So he had a tremendous day, and I know that had to make him feel good. But Kyle Bolin most definitely is my Dice Offensive Player of the Week.
Well, I'm going to go with, of course, Spider-Man, Devontae Parker, 3 touchdowns. I mean, this final
bunch
game.
of scouts there, bunch of NFL scouts there.
I mean, he's definitely a first-round draft pick, but 3 touchdowns, ties, I think, Ivan Green for the most touchdown receptions in school history. I think both of them at 33 now, I believe, and Devontae has this, whatever bowl game we go to, he has a chance to bypass that, and I think not by far, but I think Devontae's probably the best wide receiver we've had here at Louisville. He bypasses myself, of course, but he is one great talent. He puts it all together: size, strength, speed, and not to diminish all the other great receivers that come through here, but Devontae is to me is by far the best receiver to come through the program.
He's strong, definitely a talent that we'll miss. And you know what? I think my Dice Defensive Player of the Week, I'm going to stay in the secondary because they just didn't have any luck throwing the ball at all. Yeah. I don't think they threw for any touchdowns. I know they had a couple of picks, and James Sample got one of those. And I thought James Sample he had a lot of tackles. He had that pick, so I'm going to go with James Sample as my Dice Defensive Player of the Week. And the entire secondary played awesome, but I like James.
Okay, I'm going to stay with my record holders. Devontae's chasing records. Mr. Holloman tied the record. So I'm going to go with Gerard, and I think, this probably is his last home game here. So I think with the way he's performed this year, he'll probably be somewhere first, second round draft pick. So Gerard Holloman, he'll be my Dice Defensive Player of the game.
So he has 14 picks, which ties a record back in the 60s or something like that. And I think there was all but about 25 teams had fewer interceptions than he did as an individual. Right, so that's pretty impressive too. And you know what? Yeah, it's like when Teddy left last year. You got to go out on top. And I don't know what else Gerard could do if he comes back. He does have another year of eligibility. Yeah. But, I mean, where does he go from here? I mean, 14 interceptions. I mean, he's an all-time high. He's up for all kinds of awards. So we'll see what happens.
He could break the record in the ball game also.
Yeah, that's right. We still got one more game to go.
So both Devontae and Holloman, they can further the record books.
Yep. All right, wide receiver talk, bud.
Well, this is by far been our best receiving game. I mean, Notre Dame game, we blocked. We were blockers. This game, we showed up with the passing game. I think it was 22 receptions for, 389 and 3 touchdowns. I mean, the receivers I think you get the most versatile group. These guys are doing what they need to do every week, whether it's blocking, catching the ball, short passes, running the ball. I think right now we have the best receivers in the country. Again, I say that all the time. Devontae, I mean, he's a special talent. That guy comes along once in 30 years or so.
Just think if we had him for the other 6 games. I mean, they're all over Amari Cooper, and Amari's a great receiver. Yeah. But if we had Devontae for the first 6 games of the year,
we win. What
kind of numbers you think I go? And Virginia,
we win Clemson. We're in the discussion at that point in time. But our receivers. I mean, we're losing a lot of receivers at the end of this year. So spring practice, off season is going to be a time where we got to develop some of those guys. We got to get quick in a better role and doing some things, and then hopefully he's maturing off the field also. So I like Quick. I like some of the guys the younger guys we got coming back. We got a lot. Bobby just he retools. But our receivers as a whole, man, we've got a special bunch. So good luck to the guys that are leaving, that have been here, that put us on your shoulders over the years. So good luck to you guys and Devontae. Hopefully the guys that want to play in NFL will. Of course Devontae definitely will. So good luck to you guys. Our receiving core. I mean, 22 catches. That was awesome. It was somewhat of a shootout.
Yeah, and I say, if Devontae would have been here the other 6 games, if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, and hopefully we all will anyway. But we'll just keep moving forward like we're doing and playing hard. And again, we're going to be in a bowl game. We're not sure where we're going to go.
Let me give a shout out to I think Tony Smith had a question last week about if the game was going to be close, and I said no, 2 touchdowns. Tony, those writers were right. I mean, it's 4-point game.
Yeah, 44-40.
It was in the single digits, and I think my buddy William Wallace talked about Brandon Radcliffe and what kind of day he would have. I said I think 150 yards, and I think he ended up with maybe 67 yards. So they were really concentrating on shutting the run game down, and they did, and we threw it. So. Those predictions I had were wrong. So
yeah, well, again, a win's a win. Doesn't matter if you win by 1 point or 51 points. It doesn't make a difference. It's still a W or an L for the other team. So let's go on our crapped out teams of the week. There was a lot of rivalry games this week, and I'm not trying to pile on, but and Charlie's trying to build something down there in Texas. They have been playing better as of late, but then here comes TCU, the Horned Frogs. Who, Gary Patterson's done a tremendous job with TCU down there in Fort Worth. And then they're going into Austin to play Texas. I guess it's probably their senior day, too, at Texas. And they got hammered. I don't remember what the score was. It was bad.
49-14 or something
48-10 or something like that. It was bad. So I don't know. I mean, TCU has got a great team. Oh, yeah. They're number 3 or 4 or 5 in the nation right now, and they're awesome. Those guys, they're playing great offensively. They're playing great defensive. Trayvon Boykin, their quarterback, is playing good. Those guys have it going on both sides of the game. So it's going to be interesting to see, this being the first year of the college playoff system, where TCU ends up in this whole scheme of things, because TCU is a good football team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they have been for a long time, and they're tough. And I think Charlie's moving that program in the right direction, but I think those other programs in Texas are moving a little bit further along
and faster.
So, if Charlie can get some of those recruits and bring that program back, but I think he's on a short string though. I don't think they'll go 2 or 3 years with mediocre football at Texas.
So. Well, I know he said publicly last week or the week before, he goes, we won't lose 5 games again in a season. You got to be careful about saying stuff like that, because injuries, transfers, and they've had a multitude of those. But you just never know what can happen to your football team, so you can't really – I know he's confident, and he did a great job at Louisville, and we didn't. He's right. I think we were – 6-6 or 7-6 his first year or something like that.
Went to a bowl game,
and we never got close to losing 5 games again. So, you know, he may be right, and I like the direction they're going too, but unfortunately, Texas, no hook 'em horns. You're my crapped out team this week. What about you?
Well, I'm going to go with, we played them. The USC Notre Dame game.
Oh, man.
I mean, Notre Dame, I don't know what's happened.
That's 4 games in a row I think they've lost.
Yeah, I mean,
4 or 5.
USC beats them 49-14.
Crushed
and
them.
It wasn't that close. No. It looked like a major college team playing a high school team. Notre Dame's had some injuries. They're young. I mean, how do you recruit and how do you bounce back from that? Of course, it is Notre Dame, so, Brian Kelly, it might get a little hot.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. I'll be honest with you. You've already heard some rumblings right now. Is Brian Kelly the right coach at Notre Dame? Yeah. We were both confident Louisville was going to beat them up there, and it turned out that was definitely the case. Yeah. That was the case, but I don't know, man. It's interesting. I like Brian Kelly. I think he's fine. He's a fiery guy, but they're not going to take losing 5 or 6 games a year up there either. And they were embarrassed at USC.
I think, and it's just my personal opinion, I don't think Brian Kelly is the stature of a Notre Dame coach, but I mean, I think Brian Kelly
moved up the ranks fast.
Yes.
He moved up the ranks fast.
He fits in a TCU or, a tough, gritty team. I don't think he takes a fabulous team like Notre Dame and makes them better. So, we're going to, he's going to be on the hot seat next year, I know, for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, I agree.
But Notre Dame, you crapped out.
All right. I don't know if we had any questions or not. If we don't.
Well, I had a question from, I think it's Kim Walshield of J-Town.
Okay.
And she wants to know if we're going to keep the show going through bowl season. So I think right now we plan on having at least a pre-bowl show after we find out where we're going. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to talk about it a little bit. And maybe a year-ending show. I know basketball season's coming up, and that's JP's sport. It loves basketball, loves those Cardinals, and hopefully we'll get a couple more shows in, Kim. So thank you for following up with us, and everybody that's following us. Thank you. We apologize for the kind of
delay
in getting the shows out, but we were family stuff, traveling and things like that. So. Hopefully we're going to continue to kind of report on Louisville football.
Yeah, AC and I would like to film on location. We don't know. We're hoping we go south again. We're hoping we end up in Florida where it's warm. Yeah. We don't know. I've heard everything all over the map. The Sun Bowl down in El Paso, the Music City Bowl in Franklin, Tennessee. Franklin American Mortgage Company, by the way, which I do some business with them. Good group of people there.
Russell
Athletic Bowl we played last year.
Music City.
Citrus Bowl, that was Franklin American Music City Bowl.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know. There was
Gator Bowl. I heard.
Jacksonville or whatever it was called. Citrus. Is that the Citrus Bowl?
Yeah.
Citrus Bowl's in Orlando too. Yeah. Anyway, so. We have no idea where we're going to end up. AC and I are going with the team wherever we're going. Yeah. We would like to shoot a show from wherever we're going to be, so hopefully we'll be able to get that done and get that posted for everybody to watch. So tomorrow, Louisville finds out where they are going. We don't know as of yet, but hopefully we'll have another show to preview that game on whoever we're going to play. And I guess that's a wrap for the regular season anyway. Yeah. Again, thanks for all the viewers, and we have a lot of them. We really appreciate it. I'm JP.
And I'm AC.
This is Cardinal Pairadice, and that's how we roll.